Hollywood's golden age, between 1910 and 1970, was a time when homosexuality and bisexuality were considered deeply taboo, forcing many actors and actresses to hide their true sexual identities. During this era, those whose preferences didn't conform to societal norms faced the harsh reality of potential career destruction if their secret lives were exposed. Despite their personal struggles, these stars helped shape cinematic history forever. Today, we take a look into the lives of 19 secretly gay stars from old Hollywood and the causes of their untimely deaths. Rudolph Valentino. Rudolph Valentino, the legendary silent film star of the 1920s, became a global heartthrob with his romantic roles. However, rumors about his sexuality shadowed his fame. His first marriage to actress John Acker ended on their wedding night, raising eyebrows, while his second marriage to Natasha Rambova also didn't last. Valentino faced speculation about his close relationships with men, including French actor Jean Eichel. Biographers Emily Leader and Alan Ellenberger generally agree he was most likely straight, though documents from the estate of author Samuel Stewart suggested they were sexual partners. Valentino denied being gay, but his effeminate mannerisms fueled the rumors. Despite his efforts to prove his masculinity, the whispers never fully disappeared. Will Geer. Will Geer, best known for his role as Grandpa Zebulon Walton on The Waltons, lived a life full of hidden truths. In the 1930s, Geer had a romantic relationship with gay rights activist Harry Hay, but they eventually split when Geer decided to marry actress Herta Ware and have children. Though Geer chose to build a family with Ware, they divorced in 1954. Despite this, Geer remained open with her about his sexuality. His activism in both the Communist Party and gay rights circles was known within select communities. While Geer kept his sexual orientation largely private during his lifetime, his love for Hay and his commitment to both social causes and his family were defining aspects of his life. Geer passed away in 1978, leaving behind a legacy both on-screen and off. Liberace. The flamboyant and world-famous pianist, Liberace kept his sexuality a tightly guarded secret throughout his life. Despite widespread rumors, he never publicly acknowledged being gay. Instead, he shrouded his true identity with stories of his friendships and supposed romantic links with women, often portraying a heterosexual image. In fact, he even fueled this perception in articles like "Mature Women Are Best," TV's Top Pianist Reveals What Kind of Woman He'd Marry, where he spoke about his ideal female partner. Behind the scenes, though, Liberace had relationships with men, most notably Scott Thorson, who later sued him for palimony. Even as rumors swirled and tabloid stories hinted at the truth, Liberace maintained his public persona until his death in 1987 from AIDS-related complications, leaving the world still questioning the man behind the dazzling smile and sequin suits. Sir John Gielgud. Sir John Gielgud, one of the most celebrated actors of British theatre, had a career that spanned more than 6 decades. Gielgud's sexuality was largely an open secret in the theatre world, though he kept it private for most of his life. In 1953, he was arrested for importuning for immoral purposes, a charge often used against gay men at the time. Despite the scandal, Gielgud continued to work and became a revered figure in the acting community, known for his commanding performances in both stage and film. Cesar Romero. Cesar Romero, famous for his role as the Joker in the 1960s Batman series, was one of Hollywood's classic Latin lovers. However, Romero never married, and there were long-standing rumors about his sexuality. Despite being linked to several female stars, it was widely believed that he was gay, though he never confirmed it publicly. Romero maintained his privacy regarding his personal life and remained beloved for his suave, charismatic roles. Raymond Burr. Raymond Burr, best known for his iconic role as Perry Mason, was another actor whose sexuality was a well-kept secret during his lifetime. Burr carefully crafted a public image by inventing stories about a wife and child who had supposedly passed away, but in reality he had long-term relationships with men. His 35-year partnership with Robert Benavides only became publicly known after Burr's death in 1993. Tony Randall. Tony Randall, known for his role as Felix Unger in The Odd Couple, faced rumors about his sexuality throughout his career. Though he was married to his first wife for 50 years, Randall's effeminate mannerisms and personal choices led to speculation about his orientation. After his wife's death, Randall surprised many by marrying a much younger woman and fathering 2 children. But the rumors of his homosexuality persisted throughout his life. James Mitchell. James Mitchell, who played Palmer Cortlandt on the soap opera All My Children, lived as a gay man privately while enjoying a long career on Broadway and television. He had a 39-year relationship with his partner, Albert Wolski, a prominent costume designer. While he never publicly came out during his lifetime, Mitchell's close friends and colleagues knew about his long-term relationship. Montgomery Clift, a Hollywood heartthrob known for films like A Place in the Sun and From Here to Eternity, struggled with his sexuality throughout his life. Clift was known to have had relationships with both men and women, and his internal battles with his identity contributed to a tumultuous personal life marked by substance abuse. Though he never publicly came out, his close friends, including Elizabeth Taylor, were aware of his sexuality. Clift passed away in 1966, leaving behind a legacy as one of Hollywood's most talented and troubled stars. George Nader. George Nader, a handsome leading man in the 1950s, saw his career take a hit when rumors about his sexuality started to surface. Though he never publicly came out during his Hollywood career, Nader later lived openly with his partner, Mark Miller, for over 55 years. His close friendship with Rock Hudson also fueled speculation. Nader stepped away from acting in the early 1970s, focusing on writing instead. He remained out of the public eye, quietly living a life with his partner until his death in 2002. Merv Griffin. Merv Griffin, the famed talk show host and creator of Jeopardy! And Wheel of Fortune, was often rumored to be gay, though he never publicly confirmed it. Despite long-standing speculation and several lawsuits that hinted at his homosexuality, Griffin remained tight-lipped about his personal life. He had close relationships with both men and women, but his sexual orientation was only whispered about behind the scenes. Griffin passed away in 2007, leaving behind a legacy in television that overshadows the mystery of his private life. Rock Hudson. Rock Hudson, one of the most iconic leading men in Hollywood, lived his entire career hiding his homosexuality. In a time when being openly gay could destroy a career, Hudson carefully protected his image as a heterosexual heartthrob, even entering into a marriage of convenience with his secretary. Behind closed doors, Hudson had relationships with men, but it wasn't until his diagnosis with AIDS in 1984 that his sexuality became public. His battle with the disease brought awareness to the AIDS epidemic and shattered the illusion of the perfect Hollywood leading man, marking a turning point in how society viewed both the disease and the LGBTQ+ community. Hudson passed away in 1985, but his story remains a landmark in Hollywood history. Kerwin Matthews. Kerwin Matthews, best known for his roles in fantasy adventure films like The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, kept his private life very quiet. Although he never publicly addressed his sexuality, Matthews lived with his partner, Tom Nichol, for over 46 years. After leaving Hollywood in the late 1960s, Matthews moved to San Francisco, where he lived openly as a gay man. He preferred to keep his personal life out of the spotlight, but those close to him were well aware of his long-term relationship. He passed away in 2007. Paul Lynde. Paul Lynde, famous for his sarcastic humor and appearances on Hollywood squares, was an iconic comedian with an openly campy personality, though he never officially came out. Lynde's homosexuality was widely known within Hollywood, but he kept it under wraps publicly to protect his career. Behind the scenes, he struggled with personal demons, including alcohol addiction, which may have been tied to living in the closet during much of his life. Lynde's sharp wit and flamboyant persona made him a standout in the comedy world, but his private life remained largely hidden until his death in 1982. Jack Cassidy. Jack Cassidy, a versatile actor known for his roles on stage and screen, had a tumultuous personal life. While married to actress Shirley Jones, rumors swirled about Cassidy's bisexuality. He was known to have had relationships with both men and women, and his personal struggles, including issues with alcohol, took a toll on his career and family life. Cassidy's sexuality was a poorly kept secret in Hollywood, but he never publicly addressed it. He tragically died in a house fire in 1976, leaving behind a complex legacy as both a charming leading man and a troubled individual. Charles Gray. Charles Gray, perhaps most famous for playing the villain Blofeld in the James Bond series and the criminologist in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, lived a relatively private life. While Gray never publicly discussed his sexuality, it was widely understood within the industry that he was gay. He remained a reserved figure off-screen, avoiding the spotlight on his personal life. Gray passed away in 2000, leaving behind a body of work that included many memorable roles in film and television. George Maharis. George Maharis, star of the popular 1960s series Route 66, kept his sexuality under wraps during the height of his fame. Maharis was arrested in 1967 for engaging in lewd conduct with another man in a public restroom, an incident that damaged his career. While he never publicly came out, the arrest exposed his sexuality to the public. Despite the setback, Maharis continued to work in television and film, though his career never fully recovered from the scandal. He lived a more private life in his later years. Roddy McDowall. Roddy McDowall, known for his roles in Planet of the Apes and How Green Was My Valley, was a beloved actor who maintained a level of privacy about his personal life. Though never publicly out, McDowall's sexuality was an open secret in Hollywood, and he had close friendships with many in the LGBTQ+ community. McDowall never married and preferred to keep his relationships private. His professionalism and kind nature earned him respect throughout his career, and he remained a cherished figure in Hollywood until his death in 1998. Nigel Hawthorne. Nigel Hawthorne, a respected British actor best known for his role in The Madness of King George in the television series Yes, Minister, only publicly acknowledged his sexuality later in life. He lived with his partner, Trevor Bentham, for more than 20 years, but kept their relationship discreet for much of his career. It wasn't until Hawthorne was outed by the British press during the 1995 Academy Awards that he spoke openly about being gay. Hawthorne handled the situation with grace, and his acting legacy remained untarnished. He passed away in 2001. James Coco. James Coco, a character actor known for his comedic roles in films like Only When I Laugh and The Muppets Take Manhattan, was another actor who kept his private life hidden from the public. Though Coco never publicly came out as gay, it was well known in his social circles. He had a successful career in film and television, and his larger-than-life personality made him a memorable figure in Hollywood. Coco died in 1987, leaving behind a legacy as a versatile and beloved performer. Dick Sargent. Dick Sargent, best known for his role as Darren Stevens on Bewitched, came out as gay in 1991, becoming one of the few actors of his era to do so publicly. After years of keeping his sexuality private, Sargent became an advocate for LGBTQ+ rights, particularly focusing on raising awareness about HIV/AIDS. His coming out was a significant moment in Hollywood, as he used his platform to support the gay community. Sargent passed away from prostate cancer in 1994, but his courage in being open about his sexuality later in life made him a trailblazer for others in the industry.